So this Japanese persimmon is a big guy. He's referred to as a Hachiya. I call them itchies. And these guys have to get completely soft or they'll be astringent. That means they kind of make you pucker in your mouth. But once they are completely ripe, they'll kind of turn reddish color. They'll be very soft. They'll be about the consistency of jelly when you cut them. And they are very, very sweet and to me, very, very delicious. And this is one of the Hachiya trees that we have here. Had to get up on the ladder to harvest the last few, and these are the last few here. So anyway, pretty big guys. Yum. This is my Fuyu Persimmon off of a different tree, the Fuyu tree. And I've got a lot of Fuyu Persimmons coming on. They're not quite ripe yet, but when they turn orange like this, they are crispy, but very sweet. They're not astringent, so you can cut them and eat them like a crispy apple. And over a month or two, they'll get very, very soft, so they get jelly-like. You can actually dip these out with a spoon when they get so soft. My wife likes them when they're crispy. I like them when they're nice and juicy, and that will take a little bit longer to get there. But got plenty of them, and I really enjoy my Fuyu Persimmons. Notice the shape of the Fuyu Persimmon, kind of squat like a pumpkin or a tomato. But look at these acorn type shape persimmons, Japanese persimmons. These are Hachiya. These are the ones that get astringent and have to get totally, totally ripe before they taste really good. But they're actually sweeter in my opinion. They're sweeter and taste better than the Fuyu when they get completely ripe. This is a Fuyu persimmon tree that I bought at the nursery. Can't remember which nursery it was that I got it from. Just go online and you'll see them. And they usually start shipping them out, December, January, February. And but I planted this one when he was about this tall. Okay, and that was last year. And I'll bet you he's going to produce persimmons this coming year. I had a Fuyu persimmon tree that eventually just kind of died off, broke up, and I cut it off. And when I cut it off the ground, then it started sending out all these roots that you see all over here, making all of these trees. So all of these trees are just the dying tree trying to send out roots so that it can live. One thing you need to know is that when I bought this at the nursery, then everything below this level was American persimmon. And they graft Fuyu persimmons and itchy persimmons onto an American rootstock. So everything from here on up was Fuyu Persimmon. Everything from here down, American Persimmon, because it gives you a better, stronger root system and it resists disease easier. And I think that's why they do it. So what I did with all of these rootstocks coming up, this is American Persimmon right here. And so I grafted onto it. You can see where I cut off the top, but grafted onto it a Fuyu Persimmon scion. That's just a 1-year-old kind of end of the branch limb that has buds on it. And so I just planted, I just took one bud, it's called chip bud grafting, and I grafted that one bud onto here and then cut off the top so it could put all of its energy into this one graft. And so this right here then is 1 year's growth with a Fuyu Persimmon tree. And so I went around and you can see where I grafted these. I mean, look at this one. I grafted here, Fuyu Persimmon, American Persimmon rootstock. Same over here, American Persimmon rootstock right there, and yet American Persimmon, a Fuyu Persimmon graft coming up right there. So anyway, and I've done that all over the place. Some are itchy and some are Fuyu. And just interesting to see what you can do so that I don't have to order from the nursery. Did this one here as well. Grafted on just one chip bud. One bud right here, American Persimmon rootstock down here, and I've grafted onto it a Fuyu Persimmon here. And I've done this just for practice. I didn't realize that so many of them were actually going to take. I've never had that kind of luck before. And of course you can see what's happening here as well. Grafted on and got lots of other kind of persimmon trees. So what am I going to do with all these persimmon trees? Well, they'll be kind of close. I'll just kind of see which ones do really well, and then I'll go back in and maybe take some of those out. Is probably what I'll do. But I did the same thing here. I mean, see that right there? Where's my finger? I can't see in here. Where's my hand? Oh, there's my hand right down there. Okay, so American Persimmon rootstock, and then this is Hachiya Persimmon growing up here on this American Persimmon rootstock. So anyway, this ought to be fun to see what's going to happen. It's kind of end of season now, and I did all this grafting back in, I believe, April of this year, and now this is October, middle of October. So we got a lot of good starts going on here with these plants. It's just amazing what they're doing. Amazing what they're doing. Okay, muscadines are getting out of season, and so they are really good when the season, when they ripen up just so right. These muscadines are green all the way while they're growing up, but then they turn dark blue, and then they turn black. And when they get soft, then they become really, really good to eat, and very sweet and very delicious. As they get riper, the Fuyu Persimmon turns a darker orange, almost reddish looking, and they get softer and softer. But you can tell which one's more firm and which one's softer before you ever pick it off the tree, just by the color. The birds love these too, and so that's why I will usually go in and pick them a little early and just set them in cardboard boxes in our house in a cool room, and they will ripen up just fine. Next April, well, let's just say in March, February or March, I'll come out and cut off the ends of a number of these Fuyu branches. They have little buds on them. I don't know if you can see those, but the little buds. Oops, something got in the way there. Yeah, little buds. And I'll cut off about 10 or 15 inches of this, and that's what's going to be called a scion. And then I'll put them in the refrigerator. Put them in the refrigerator for a while until those American Persimmon rootstocks that we see growing up all over there, when they start, the leaves have fallen off now or will fall off, but when they start coming back on in the spring, I'll know the sap is coming up, and that's when I'll start grafting these scions onto the American Persimmon rootstock, and then produce more of the kind of trees that I want. Since I don't want American Persimmons, I want Japanese persimmons. My fig tree is loaded. It just continues to produce, but it's had quite a few of the ripe figs come on, and then we picked most of those off. I think I have one over here. Yeah, one right there that we could pick off. And we could go ahead and, it's soft enough we could eat it. Oh yeah, it tastes very good, very sweet and delicious. Yeah, ripe figs are totally unlike the dried figs you may have eaten. So if you haven't eaten a fresh ripe fig, you need to try it. They're very, very good. I see one more up there I'm gonna go get. So my pomegranates seem to be doing okay here. They look kind of ugly, but they taste really good when they get, when I say really good, well, they're a bit tart, but the older they get, the sweeter they get. And this one here is doing really, really well. Can't see in my camera, don't know what I'm looking at. There it is, right there, okay. And we have some others that are on here and around here as well. You can kind of see those. But that's all we've got this year. So let's check them out. Yeah, not bad. Good, as a matter of fact. Tart and sweet. So when I was at the park today running and jogging and stuff like that, toward the end I thought I'll go look and see how those persimmons are coming. They have several persimmon trees, American persimmon trees, and these fall on the ground and just go, you know, just get mushed into the ground, bugs eat them, etc., etc. But this is an American persimmon, and notice its size compared to the regular persimmons that I have. I mean, that's a Fuyu. These two are Fuyu, and this one's an Hachiya, and so these are much smaller and have a lot of seeds in them, whereas these Japanese persimmons have very few, if any, seeds. So let's go ahead and check this out. This will not be astringent because it's very, very soft, and I rinsed it off a little bit, but I'm sure it has a lot of seeds. Let's see how it tastes. Oh yeah. I have really learned to like these American persimmons. They're very, very good, very sweet. Not astringent at all. If you wait till they get so soft, they're going to be mushy in your fingers. And these are, boy, this is very sweet. But, okay, there's one seed. There's another seed. The seeds are pretty big for the fruit that they come from. But, I mean, these are delicious. I really like these. But you can't eat these until they're totally, totally ripe. Yep. Okay, so this is a Fuyu. Just picked it off the tree. It's nice and firm. Let's see how it tastes. Okay. That is sweet. Very good. Very nice to eat. And it'll continue getting sweeter and softer. This is really good. You gotta try some of these sometimes. These are really good. No joke. No pretend here. This is really good. This is really good. This is my Hachiya Persimmon off my tree. It has no astringency. You have to wait until it's soft before you can eat it. It has the consistency of firm jelly, and it's very delicious. I love these things.